The higher up people live in a building, the safer they feel leaving their windows open. The ground floor? Absolutely not. What if someone climbs in? The first floor? Well, maybe. People won't exactly climb up, but still, don't leave them open if you're going on a holiday. Anything above that seems pretty safe. People leave some windows open literally constantly. I mean, what kind of dangers are going to find you so high up? If you live above the 10th floor, you won't want to find out. Leaving a window open could be the most innocent grave mistake you could possibly make. My warning to you is not about falling from your window ledge. Even windows that are restricted to only open by about an inch are dangerous. If there is the slightest way inside, he will find it. Stories of the thing that hovers circulated when I was a child. Kids would claim that at night they saw something slowly hovering down the street, about 100 feet in the air. They would all have different descriptions of it. A small glowing orb, a creature with red eyes, a dark cylinder. But the stories all hit the same note. They all looked out of their bedroom window around 3 a.m. They all saw something high in the sky, but not too high. They all immediately felt filled with dread, despite nothing actually bad happening, and had to look away. I have now learned why. I live on the 11th floor of the student accommodation building. The kitchen is shared with a few other people. I don't really know them that well. We only talk on a need-to-talk basis, although I think a few of them are friends with each other. Regardless, it means whenever I'm at home, I'm in my bedroom. I'm usually awake quite late, whether it be gaming or studying, usually the former. Last night, it wasn't either though. I've been stressed a lot recently, and I found myself sitting up in bed, staring out of my window. It was cracked open just a bit to let a small breeze in. I don't know how long I sat like that. It was just relaxing. It was nice to look down at all the people of the night. Some clearly drunk, others just walking as if it's not the middle of the night. It's that second group I find the most interesting. I find myself making stories up in my head where they could be going at a time like this, who they are, and whether they do this regularly. At some point, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something. Something not down below or way up high. Something right at my level. It was hard to see it in the dark. I wasn't so much looking at this than I was looking at its silhouette, as it moved in front of the dimly lit windows of the buildings across the road. The room directly across the street had its lights on and curtains open, and it was the best light source I had. It didn't seem to be any shape to me, more like a cloud of smoke, one that didn't rise but just moved in unnatural ways. I immediately thought back to the childhood stories of the thing that hovers. It began to get closer to my window, slowly, slowly, and slower still, but moving all the same. The whole while, I kept looking behind me, as if something was already in the room. This thing made me feel on edge. I thought once it finally reached my window, I'd be able to see it clearly, to see that my imagination was getting carried away. Oh, it's just a bag in the wind, is what I was hoping to think. Instead, I just found my bedroom window covered, blackness all over it. It was as if my view of the city became a window into the void. I felt dizzy, and my vision felt off. Like looking at it was wrong. Every bone in my body was telling me to look away. But I'm glad I didn't, because I noticed some of the smoke beginning to leak through the cracks of the window. I have never closed it so fast. I even locked it, something I never do, because why would you when you live this high up? I felt slightly better immediately. The view slowly came back as the thing that hovers moved away. I had to lie down for a while and clear my head. I had a headache that seemed to punish me for not looking away. Despite this, once it cleared up, I sat back up and looked out of my window. I noticed that the room directly across the street from me no longer had its lights on. At least that's what I thought, until I looked closer. It was there. It had covered their window and was getting in. Their window must have been open more than mine, as it didn't take long for it to get inside. I never saw it leave because I closed my curtains at that point and didn't look outside again. This morning, people are talking about a man who was found dead across the street. I don't know for sure, but my gut tells me he must have lived in the room I saw it enter. I haven't told anyone what I know yet. I am scared too. But I've been thinking today about what that thing is. I think I understand its behavior now. Clearly, it feeds on people. But what if it hates to be seen? It only travels at night, high up enough to not be illuminated by the street lights, but low down enough that it can still climb inside windows. It always has a different shape for every person, one that creeps them out, not the one that scares them. Humans love to stare at things that scare them, but we always look away from things that we find creepy. Everything about it seems to show that it hates to be seen. A silent killer that only targets people who think they're safe and does everything it can to make sure you never see it coming. So if you live above the 10th floor, don't leave your windows open unless you're ready to meet the thing that hovers. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please like and subscribe so that you can hear more of me. And if you didn't like this video, there isn't much I can tell you. Until then.